Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to America's greatest city, Fort Worth, Texas. Which, by the way, did you happen to see the news? We're the 12th largest city in the country now. How about that? 12th largest city in the country right here. This is the 2024 edition of the Ben Hogan Award, presented by our friends at PNC Bank. I'd like to welcome all of you in the room here at Colonial Country Club. Also, our friends who are listening on Sirius XM radio channel 84, our friends that are watching via golf.com tonight for the first time ever. We appreciate them being here, and also on our website at the benhoganaward.com. Our three finalists are here: Jackson Koivun from Auburn, Christo Lamprecht from Georgia Tech, and we welcome back Gordon Sargent from Vanderbilt as well. You know what Gordon already knows that the other two are learning here very quickly is that Fort Worth and Colonial Country Club embraces these three. This award is embraced with open arms, these three gentlemen here. Last night at a reception that welcomed the three of them at Joe T. Garcia's, our chairman of the board, Harold McElroy, touched on a theme of family that will be evident throughout the night here tonight. That family, of course, is the Ben Hogan Award. You three are now members of that family, and we're honored that you're here with us for this. Also part of that family for the last 4 years, and we hope a part for many years to come, is PNC Bank, who has helped make this event possible and really raised it to another level, folks. They've been a tremendous presenting sponsor, and I'd love to bring up my friend, if you don't mind, to start our evening with a big welcome, Del Close. Del from PNC Bank.
Thank you, Brian. It's always great. I love your voice. You're just the best. And yeah, this is our 4th year of being here, and super excited to be here. It feels kind of like home. I wanted to thank all of you for being here tonight. We're in for a really incredible, wonderful evening. And, while we're here to recognize the Ben Hogan winner, what I think is really kind of cool is we get to hear from Brian. We get some great questions, and we get to learn a little bit about these three absolutely amazing and outstanding collegiate golfers. So I think you're going to really, really enjoy that. Let me say it's been an absolute honor for me and for PNC Bank to represent and sponsor the Hogan Award. I've been with the company 39 years. I've been to a lot of different cities as our company has grown across the country. And I will tell you that the 3 years that my wife and I have lived in Fort Worth, Texas, have been absolutely tremendous. What we have learned is that in this city, there is rich history, and it is a city of community. And I'll tell you, coming in from different areas of the United States and now living here in Fort Worth, Texas, that can't be understated, how wonderful your city is and how wonderful you've made us feel as we've acclimated to the area. Of course, when you think about Fort Worth, you think about the history of Fort Worth. And when you think about the history of Fort Worth, you think about Ben Hogan. And I must admit, I've done some reading on Ben Hogan, and, I'm not going to get all this right. But here is a gentleman, a golfer, that achieved absolutely remarkable things. Think about this: 9 major championships, a triple crown in 1953, winning the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship, winning 64 PGA Tour events, including 5 national invitationals right here on the historic grounds of Colonial Country Club. This guy was a GOAT. When you think about the time and what he had accomplished. His accomplishments, as I thought about it and read about Ben Hogan, they embody perseverance, determination, and absolute excellence. At PNC, I will tell you, we are proud to align ourselves with those same values. Our company, a little bit about PNC, we were founded a little over 180 years ago. Today, we're the 6th largest commercial bank in the United States. We're one of the best capitalized, best performing banks in the nation. And we've chosen Texas to be the market that we take PNC to the next level as we go coast to coast with our organization. Our business model is relatively unique, I will share with you, for a large bank. We recognize the distinct characteristics of every single city that we serve. And I think we all know that Fort Worth is Fort Worth. And there are cities around us, and those cities are those cities. But thank you. But in doing that, I oversee PNC for all of Texas and our mountain states. And in every one of those cities, we have local leadership. We have local decision making, local expertise, local investments. Making decisions like this, we make right here in Fort Worth, Texas, because we know what's important to Fort Worth, Texas. In Fort Worth, we are having tremendous success, I will tell you, since we bought BBVA a few years ago and really became about the 4th largest bank across Texas. We're having tremendous success in helping companies grow here. We are lending to businesses and watching businesses become incredibly successful here in Fort Worth, Texas. Our private banking team is advising clients and families on all the things that you need to think about. Taxes and investments and estate planning and future generations and all those good things. And then every single day, our branches are just crushing it with the needs of our consumer clients. And so, that being said, I would tell you, when you think of any community that a bank serves, we want the community to be vibrant, and we have to give back to our communities. And at PNC, I'll just cover on a couple things I just wanted to share with you, because a lot of these things we don't really advertise these things, but they're things that we do because they are the right things to do. We do a lot of community development lending in all different neighborhoods throughout Fort Worth, and we're making an impact. We as a company have a $500 million commitment to early childhood education. And that's making a tremendous impact. And we're helping these little ones birth to age 5 for success in school and life. So critical, especially coming out of COVID. We've got to get these young kids learning and being ready for their futures. And being the presenting sponsor of events here, like the Fort Worth Main Street Art Festival and the Broadway on the Bass, and of course, the Hogan Award, which we're all here to celebrate tonight. And so for tonight, I would say, on behalf of my company, on behalf of PNC Bank, I would really like to extend our heartfelt congratulations to Christo, to Jordan, or to Jackson. No, Jordan, that Jackson. And I'm sorry about that, Jackson, and Gordon. I got the Jace a little thrown off there. So I'm sorry about that. But Christo, Gordon, and Jackson, I met these 3 young men last night, had a chance to spend some time with them. They are true gentlemen, absolute gentlemen. And as I said last night, they really, truly give us a lot of inspiration when you think of the future of our country, to have such wonderful, wonderful young men representing us. These men have overcome challenges. They've showcased their immense talent. They've proven themselves to be absolute true ambassadors of the game of golf. So I'd like to express our gratitude to their families, because we know, as we talked about that, families are incredibly important, to the coaches, to the mentors, and to everyone else who has worked with them and who have played such an integral role in their journey thus far. So let me end by saying thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. This is a very special event, and I really, truly appreciate all the support all of you provide to the Hogan Award. So thank you very much. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Dale. Dale's been a great partner for the last 4 years with PNC Bank with this award. He did mention, the fact that I guess we could say, we can let the cat out of the bag. The two major cities here are a little different, Fort Worth and the other city to the east. I don't know if you noticed that the bagpiper played the theme from Dallas earlier. Did you guys notice that? Harold sent me a note. We're looking for a new bagpiper, if anybody knows how to play. We're in the market. Maybe if someone wants to take that up, we'll be happy to visit with them. We're going to have three very special guests join us on the stage. This is a little different. Generally speaking, we've had a special guest of honor here tonight, in addition to our three finalists. But tonight, we felt like it was important to get to know the coaches of these three finalists, because we've got three quality gentlemen in the room with us here tonight. So we're going to get a chance to visit with Bruce and with Scott and with Nick here shortly. But before we do that, we talk a lot about family. We have a very special video to be seen for the first time tonight that explains what family in Fort Worth and Ben Hogan Award mean. Check out the video.
Colonial Country Club. The shadows here certainly are long. This is Hogan's Alley. It's the place where dreams come true. For my father, who founded the club. For Ben Hogan, who won 5 PGA Tour events on his beautiful hometown course. And for all of us who love the game of golf, who relish its history, who understands its significance, and who appreciate its bigger meaning. It is only fitting, then, that an award of this magnitude is given here at Colonial to honor the legacy of its namesake, Hogan, a name synonymous with persistence, with determination, and with excellence. For more than 20 years, the young men who have been honored here have been the best of the best. And tonight, these three finalists' names become forever linked to the name in golf, Hogan. Tonight, the shadow of our family tree at Colonial grows even longer. Welcome to the Ben Hogan Award, presented by PNC Bank, and welcome to the Hogan and Leonard family.
How about that, huh? We'll get to meet those three gentlemen here shortly. But first, we thought we would visit with their three coaches that brought them to Auburn and to Georgia Tech and to Vanderbilt, and to learn a little bit more about that process and to learn a little bit more about these three young men, as well as these three coaches that are with us. Scott Limbaugh from Vanderbilt. Good to see you, man.
Glad to be here.
Good to
Thank
have you. You're old hat at this, man. You love coming to Fort Worth, don't you?
I do. It's
Yeah.
a good time. Feels like family.
Exactly. That's exactly. Oh, look at that. That's what it's all about. We want you to feel like family. I mean, this is obviously back-to-back years now for Gordon. What does that mean for the Vanderbilt program?
It means a ton. I think for Gordon to be able to be here back-to-back years just says a lot about his consistency as a golfer. And equal to that, I just say it means a ton to certainly our Vanderbilt golf family. We've got some of those people here tonight, just great friends and supporters of Gordon, but also of Vanderbilt golf. And that's why you do what we do, to try to forge those relationships.
Yeah. Well, those relationships have paid off for you over the years. Nick Kleiner's right beside you, the head coach, obviously, at Auburn, has done a terrific job. And Nick grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina. He went to Ashbrook High School. The greatest athlete to ever come out of that high school was not Nick Kleiner. It was James Worthy. Am I right about that?
Spot on.
Yeah, spot on. James Worthy, the greatest athlete to come out of Ashbrook. But
Sleepy Floyd, too. Sleepy Floyd.
Sleepy Floyd.
Played
Okay.
at Georgetown.
There you go. Good one. All right. So, Nick, obviously, we're excited to have you here. And you bring a freshman with you, and Jackson Koivun. That's hard to do. Tell us a little bit about Jackson.
Well, the first thing I want to know, Brian, is can we go Cowboys, or is
Yeah,
that not allowed?
No,
in Fort
you
Worth?
can do that. Hey,
Huh?
by the way, Nick,
Is that allowed in Fort Worth or
No,
not?
you can do it. You can say go
Okay.
Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
There he goes. Yeah, he's a Cowboy fan. I like it.
Huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah, right.
But listen, Jackson's a wonderful kid. He's mature beyond his years. He's a blessing to coach. He's a phenomenal worker. I think he's learned a lot about how to practice and how to manage his time. Being such a youngster at 18, he turns 19 in a few days, and but he's just been, look at him, he's over there, he's embarrassed. But he's just a hard worker, and he's so competitive, and he wants to do well in every arena of his life, and I think that's what makes him special.
The guy beside you, Bruce Hepler's been around a little bit. 20.
That's called the dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. 29 at Georgia Tech. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Look at these numbers now: 72 wins, 14 ACC titles, 20 NCAA tournament appearances. Yet I hear when you're on the road recruiting, the only thing you say is, "I got to get some players. I can't find any players."
I can't get anybody to come anymore.
Yeah, right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I recruited both these other two guys. They told me no.
Exactly. Exactly.
Luckily, one guy showed up.
One guy did, yes. And that one guy, Christo, who's pretty dang good.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah. Tell me about Christo and what he's done for your program.
Well, it's interesting. I actually served a church mission in South Africa
Yeah.
for 2 years and learned a little Afrikaans. And so when he and his father showed up, there was a welcome, goeiemorgen, hoe gaan het?
Right.
And Dad felt really comfortable about that. So I love the country. They're special people. I've told a couple of people, we're at the airport and the oversized baggage down at the end there, and we're waiting and this stuff, and there's a lady and there's these bags as big as a table, and he's down there helping her load them onto the cart. And that's kind of what he's done for me, for our program for the last 4 years, is he's just served, and it's been a joy to be part of that. I watched him send other people's divots that he plays with, and I think he's admired by a lot of people beyond the way he plays.
Scott, I want you to prove it to him that he just stole my first note that he could speak Afrikaans.
It's right there.
Yep. It's right here. And I'm sure that wasn't cheating in recruiting somehow, because there are no rules anymore.
No, that's not, I follow the rules.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And speaking Afrikaans was not
That's
in the
fine.
rule book.
Yes, that's not in the rule book. Yeah.
It is totally fine. Scott, you're I want to learn about you three as well. You're a family man. Got some kiddos that are starting to get into sports a little bit, right? In Nashville, I'm assuming you being in Nashville, I mean, you got to be a country music guy.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So are you more likely to hang out with Jelly Roll or Ronnie Millsap?
Ronnie Millsap.
That's what I thought.
I don't know that me and Jelly Roll got a lot in common.
Yeah, right. But I would think that the great city that you're in is a terrific recruiting advantage for you, is it?
We think so.
Yeah.
We like our city. A little bit, there's a lot of proud Nashvillians, kind of like there's some proud Fort Worth folks here.
Yeah.
They're proud of their city, and we're proud of it. And think we've got a really cool setup there. And Gordon just went to a Morgan Wallen concert the other night, so you might need to ask him a little bit about that.
I'm going to get into his music taste. Yeah, at some point. You have a chance to bring your family on the trip sometimes, right? That's important to you, I know.
Yeah, it's the only. My wife played college basketball and understands sports, and I think that's the way it works for us, is to kind of see our young people as an extension of our family, and we just enjoy it that way. But yeah, all three of my children are playing sports right now, 13, 11, and 8 years old. So we are on the move, but it's fun.
You coached at Alabama, obviously. You knew that was coming. Had to sit you beside each other. Coached at Alabama. You coach now at Vanderbilt. You grew up in the South. You're a Southerner.
Yeah, yes. Did you have me fooled for anything else?
No. No, not at all. Not at all. But I want you to explain to this crowd what the phrase "boom shakalaka" means, because I think it means a little something to you.
It means somebody just made a whole bunch of birdies for Vanderbilt. What that means.
That's exactly what
It means. Bruce is mad
I am
somewhere.
tired of boom shakalaka. Yes.
No, my dad's been following. I've been coaching for 20 years, and wherever I've been, my dad loves it. And he still works for a living. We grew up in a small paper mill town in Childersburg, Alabama, and he believes in fun. And he doesn't ever mean it against anybody else. But if Gordon Sargent or anybody on our team makes a birdie, my dad goes, boom, shakalaka.
That's right.
Yep.
And everybody hears it, right?
Everybody knows it.
I love
Yep.
it.
We're going to hear a lot. We're paired together. So am I
I
going
hope
to
you do.
am I going to have to listen to that all week in Carlsbad?
Wasn't as many of those on Sunday at SECs, unfortunately, but yeah.
Do you sense there's a problem with these two? I don't know.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Nick, you've got a couple of daughters, right?
I do have two.
Yeah. But the word I hear is that they may not be into sports as much as you are.
They probably have no idea where I am right
Right.
now.
Right.
They're a lot smarter than me, though.
Right.
I
Right.
can promise you that.
Yes.
They're very academic.
Yeah. But so you've got the two daughters, and one of the things that I know that's important to you is finding time for them. I hear that from a bunch of different guys on the circuit who say, "Hey, like Nick always finds time for family."
You know, it's tough. I mean, I think that's the hardest part of the job. I mean, I love to work. I love to recruit, as these guys know.
Yeah.
But I love to travel. It's what I do, and I don't have a lot of hobbies. But spending time with my family is a blessing. It's it's cherished, and I try to make the most of it.
And the best move that you made was you hired one of our favorites in Chris Williams, who won the award, obviously, several years ago. Now is one of your assistant coaches. What a great guy.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he can still beat these guys.
Yeah.
Actually, they tied the last time they played. I think
Yeah,
they both
yeah.
shot 65 or 66. But let me tell you, they gave me 6 shots,
Yes. And
and I beat them.
did you really?
Yeah, I beat them.
That was 6 shots per hole.
Yeah, I'll take that too. if you
Yeah,
wanna
right,
give it to
right,
me.
right. Yeah.
Right.
By the way, Nick was a great player at Wake Forest back in the day as well. One of the things that you were, I wouldn't say you were on the cutting edge of this, but one of the things that you did, Bruce, was you have a practice facility there in Atlanta that is phenomenal, that you had to have a vision for when you saw that land originally. Walk us through that process and what that looked like, because Colonial's going through that now, obviously.
Well, I had a great experience. I was spent 4 years in Stillwater,
Yeah.
working for Coach Holder, and we built Carson Creek. So when I got to Atlanta, you start seeing the things that you have and you don't have. And so many of the schools in that area have university facilities, and we didn't have that. And I couldn't find 300 acres downtown to build one. So we had to try to do something different. So found some property that was the school dump at the time, and said, "Is anybody using it?" And they said, "Well, no, not for now." So we've worked through that, and $16 million later, had to buy the land and raise all that money. And it's right there. Kids live across the street, and that's the best we could do. So it's been a really great aid for us in recruiting, and also to practice right near campus.
That's awesome. By the way, for those of you who don't know, he mentioned the fact that he was at Oklahoma State for a while with Coach Holder. Prior to that, he was at UNLV with Jerry Tarkanian. You guys know him, right? The basketball
Did you
coach.
chew the towel?
Yeah, yeah.
I got the towel and put it under his chair. I didn't chew it, but if I put it under his chair, yes,
Yeah.
that was one of my jobs. Yeah.
But you were involved with the basketball program. At
Yeah, I
UNLV.
rolled out the red carpet, lit the fireworks, and put his towel under his chair. I did
Right,
that every game.
right.
And we went 60-1 for 2 years. Yeah, it was
Exactly.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever hang out in the sauna with the players, with those agents? Did you do any of that?
No, I just stayed away from the
Okay, good.
the convicted felons. Yeah, I did not spend any time with them. No.
But the experience was fun, right?
Oh, it was incredible. Absolutely. Yeah,
And you're still a basketball fan to this day, right? You still go to some basketball games at
I
Georgia Tech on the
do.
road. right?
Winning 9 games in 3 years is tough, but I'm still a fan. Yes. I love college basketball. Yes. Yeah.
Hey, I heard a story one time that you were recruiting at a junior event, U.S. junior event, and you were riding in a golf cart, and there was an errant shot that hit you in the forehead.
That is correct.
Yes.
So I'm standing there. His kid's got 258 in, and I'm thinking the kids are on the green. He's not going to hit. And so I'm talking to Bill Monagill. Y'all know Bill. And his face is this way, and this ball comes right by his face. And it hits me right here, and I got my hat. So it gets me right there above between my eye and my temple there. And I look up and I go, "There's ain't even no palm trees around here. What was that, a coconut or something, man?" He goes, Bill goes, "I think that was a golf ball." And I thought, well, man, if I reach under that hat and there's blood, I'm in trouble. But survived that.
Yeah.
And took some medicine, like 8,000 milligrams. And the doctor said, "Don't take anything. Don't take that ever." And I take it like 8,000 milligrams, but I got there. But I survived, and I guess I'm still okay.
Well, the word was not only did you survive, that you watched 36 holes that day after you got hit.
Well, you got to show a guy you want him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about commitment.
Yeah.
It's commitment.
I love it.
I did get the guy. I think he went to Oklahoma State, but I tried. Yes,
Yeah.
I stayed the course. Just
Ain't
another
that
guy
your
that went somewhere else.
perseverance?
Yes, just
Yeah.
another guy that went somewhere else. Yeah.
Scott, you're speaking of basketball. Speaking of
Oh, yeah.
basketball,
Incredible
you
list.
you show up at all the games at Vanderbilt. I know you're part of that program as well. But you're really close also with the women's golf program, aren't you? You guys work hand in hand.
Yeah, we got Greg Allen, our women's coach, and I are really good buddies, and so it's always fun when that works nicely together. So yeah, we are.
And the football and basketball and baseball. I hear you're always checking in on baseball.
Do
See how Vandy baseball's
everybody
doing.
likes a winner, and our baseball program seems to do that. We're a little bit in the same boat with my man Help down here on our basketball front right now, but we're optimistic.
Yeah.
We are optimistic.
We're looking
yes,
forward,
yes.
right?
Always got to be optimistic.
That's right.
What's the toughest part of the job for you?
Yeah, for you touched on earlier, just the time away. As you try to make your family feel special when you are there, but it is missing your kids a lot of the time. I was thinking about just during regionals. My seventh grade daughter had a school dance. My fifth grade girl will move on from the fifth grade to middle school this week, and you miss your son's championship game. But you try to cherish the times that you are there. But for me, that's the balance is the toughest part of the job for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. And by the way, Nick, one story from you that I heard is that you guys spend a lot of time in the weight room. You get your guys; they work out really hard, and that we'll see you slide down and hop on the bench every once in a while in the middle of a workout. Am I right about this?
That's true, actually.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
yeah.
I love it. It's my out from coaching. It's out for the stress. I do enjoy working out.
You challenge those guys when you're on the bench.
I used to.
Right?
Yeah, I used to run circles around those
Yeah,
guys.
right.
Huh?
Is that right, Jackson? Yeah. See
I
him in
can
there,
lift
son?
more weight than he can.
Yeah, yeah.
But he can
Exactly.
beat me at golf, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Hey, final question from the three of you, and Hep, let's start with you. The Ben Hogan Award in college golf. What does that mean?
Well, I think you just have to look at his career, what he did after the accident, right?
Yeah.
That's perseverance. That's getting past stuff, and that's what we try to, at least I do, teach our guys every day. Is it's not easy. Life's not that way, and sometimes I feel like golf epitomizes life more than any other sport. It's like two things go wrong, and you keep thinking, man, something good's got to happen, and then it doesn't. And so I love the game because it teaches adversity and sticking with it. And obviously, he's the epitome of that in our sport, from overcoming those things. So it's a phenomenal thing. I missed the last one when one of my guys was here at this point about my daughter's high school graduation, so I didn't get to come with Holly. So I'm glad to be here, and it's truly an honor to be mentioned with his name and his family and the whole city here.
Yeah, Nick, the same for you, I'm assuming. But when you think about, you lived here in DFW for a while, what that Hogan name means.
Listen, I've been a Hogan fan I don't know if they do term papers anymore in high school. Am I really dating myself with a term paper? Yeah. I did my term paper on Ben Hogan, and I submitted it to him. I actually mailed it to him, hoping I'd get something back, but I didn't. Yeah. But to this day, one of the most cherished things I ever have in golf is I won the Ben Hogan Boys, and he sent me a copy of his book to Nick Kleiner, Best Wishes in Golf, Ben Hogan. And to this day, I mean, his character, his integrity, his work ethic, that's what's something that taught me just growing up and reading and learning about him and his work ethic and his dedication and commitment to be the best, and how loving he was with his wife and his family.
Scott, during COVID, you remember you and I did a Zoom because we were a little limited on what we could do. And I remember in that Zoom, you talking about the fact that you talked about Ben Hogan to your players before you ever had a nominee. That was something that came up in conversation because you honored his game so much. You shared it with them.
Yeah, well, I couldn't say it any better than these two guys. They said it so well, but exactly the things that they said, work ethic, toughness, resiliency, all the things you're trying to instill in your players, your children. I think you talk about just competitive character, fighting through hard times. This game will humble you.
Yeah.
And I just think all of those things, and even for me, just being here, even last year was my first year being here to this year, and just this whole award epitomizes that. It's class, it's character, it's really cool to be a part of it.
Bill Alcorn, the head coach at TCU, is in the building, and I asked him the other day, I said, hey, if you could describe these three in one sentence, what would you say? And he said, well, it's a little, he said, I'm going to have to put a semicolon in there. I said, you're a lot smarter than me. I don't know where that goes. But he said, they're all class acts. And they would be all men I would be willing to send my son to play for. Isn't that the ultimate compliment when someone says that? Absolutely. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah. I hope you I hope you can see why we wanted to visit with them and how they handle themselves. And these are three very, very special men. Now that we've had a chance to meet them, it's time to meet the young men they work with. The finalists for the 2024 Ben Hogan Award presented by PNC Bank. Speaking of PNC Bank, as we're going to get ready for these finalists to make their way up, check out the video one more time here for me.
You know what's brilliant? Boring. Think about it. Boring is the unsung catalyst for bold.
What straps gold to a rocket and hurtles it into space? Boring does.
Boring makes vacations happen.
Early retirement's possible.
And startups start up.
Because it's smart, dependable, and steady. All words you want from your bank.
For nearly 160 years, PNC Bank has been brilliantly boring, so you can be happily fulfilled. Which is pretty unboring if you think about it.
Thank you, Dale, and our friends at PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring. I love that. I love that tagline. We're not going to be boring tonight. I can promise you that, because these three gentlemen are going to be fun to visit. I'd like to bring up Jackson Koivun from Auburn first, the freshman. Let's learn a little bit about Jackson as he makes his way up. Jackson, if you would.
A finalist for the Ben Hogan Award presented by PNC Bank. As a true freshman? What a year for Jackson Koivun of Auburn. Just the second freshman to be honored here at Colonial in the past decade, Koivun joins an esteemed group of past freshman finalists that includes Ricky Fowler, Patrick Cantlay, Jordan Spieth, and Patrick Rogers. The Tigers' first ever Ben Hogan Award finalist is ranked third in the National Collegiate Golf Ranking System and fourth in the World Amateur Golf Ranking. He reached the quarterfinals of the 2023 U.S. Amateur and placed second at the 2024 Jones Cup Invitational. Koivun owns a 69.25 collegiate scoring average, thanks to 17 sub-70 scores in his 36 rounds. He has 10 top 5 finishes in 12 tournaments, including a 6-shot win at the SEC Championships and a triumph at the Pinehurst Intercollegiate. From Auburn, Jackson Koivun.
Jackson, welcome to Fort Worth, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how's the day been?
It's been awesome.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, get a chance to see the new course, the new course design. What do you think?
I got to look around it a little bit. We didn't get out to play, but I put on the putting green. Greens look great. Course looks tough, which is good.
Yeah.
Really narrow, and I'm sure those boys out on tour are really going to like it this week.
I'm sure. Jackson, by the way, grew up in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and arrived at Auburn. How in the world did you do that? How'd you get out of North Carolina without the Tar Heels getting you?
Well, I actually grew up in California.
Right, originally.
I moved there when I was 17, and I was already committed to Auburn. Talked to UNC a little bit, liked the program, but they weren't too interested in the California vibes of me. And obviously Coach Kleinert was, and made my decision, and I've been happy ever since.
Now, I saw a post from Auburn during the SEC that was, I think, Jackson at age 12 or so, wearing an Auburn sweatshirt in the Auburn bookstore.
Yeah, that was actually, I played the Future Masters in Dothan, Alabama, and we drove up to Auburn after that. I think I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And we drove by it. I liked it then, but I was 12, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I got myself that sweatshirt, and then ever since then, and then all the rules changed after that, so I couldn't talk to them until my sophomore year of high school, and then took another unofficial visit, knew it was the place for me, and was happier.
So Nick didn't meet you at the bookstore at age 12?
No, no, he did not.
Okay. You didn't buy the sweatshirt either. I got it. Yeah, I got it. You grew up obviously playing the game. When did you realize, hey, this is going to be something that I can do in college?
I played a lot of sports growing up.
Yep.
I would say I was probably best at golf, but I did enjoy other sports a lot. I'd say probably 8th grade was kind of my my mind opening that golf was probably the only option for me after I wasn't the biggest on the football field or the basketball court. And I actually had an opportunity to play golf at a high level.
Yeah. And it's obviously your freshman year. There've been I think 3 SEC Freshman of the Year and Players of the Year. Is that right? Justin Thomas was one.
Yes, and then I think another Alabama guy did
Yeah.
it. So
Right. And then who's the third?
I think me.
Yes, exactly. You. That's pretty good company, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you imagine? I mean, when you set out your first year, obviously you're the number one recruit in the country. But when you set out your first year in college, what were your goals?
To be honest, we had a pretty loaded team, so I just wanted to make the traveling team and then go from there.
Yeah.
But you know, as I started playing, get a little more comfortable into the collegiate level, I kind of realized that, you know, I can do it out here and I belong out here. And these are the same guys I saw 2 years ago when I was playing junior golf and looking up to them. So I think my main goal was just to make the team, and then from there, and then I played pretty well in my first event and was kind of off to the races from there.
Yeah, I'd say you played pretty well. I mean, top 5 in 9 of 11 starts. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's been a good ride. So
Yeah, I would say so. Shot 66, 3 straight rounds of the SEC? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of own that golf course.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far, so good. I know the answer to this, and I don't know if others in the room do, but, you know, in baseball, they have walk-up songs. You know, when a player goes up to the – what if in golf you had a walk-up song? What would yours be?
I don't know. We had an interview on Auburn Men's Golf, and I think I said silence because I couldn't really think of anything. Silence isn't a bad option, though. I mean, just trying to stay in that right mindset, but it's kind of on the spot there.
Yeah, I know. I like the silence answer. That you know, that's a good way to approach it. What are you into outside of golf? What are your hobbies? Are you into video games, music? What takes up your time?
I play video games over the summer with a couple of other college guys, and but I wouldn't say that's a main hobby. I haven't touched my video games in all year. Coach Kleiner's happy about that one.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of fishing now.
Yeah.
A couple of guys on the team started fishing, and
freshwater or saltwater?
Freshwater.
Freshwater.
We have
Yeah.
a pond on our golf course that we sometimes sneak out to here and there.
Yeah.
But and I played a lot of football growing up. I love football. I like watching it.
Yeah, you're a Packers fan, right?
Oh yeah.
How'd you become a Packers fan?
My dad's family's from over in that area, and I really like the way Aaron Rodgers played and all that stuff. So I just always rooted for the Packers and still do. I mean, now that Aaron Rodgers isn't there, it's a little tougher. But Jordan Love is on the come up, and I think he's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 18.
You ever heard of Brett Favre?
Yes, I have heard.
Just curious. How about Bart Starr?
No.
There's Lance Barrow. Lance, we got to educate him on Bart Starr. Yeah, that's why he doesn't like him. Yeah, he's an Alabama guy. That's true. Yeah. When you're away from golf, though, you said you don't really do video games. Are you ever away from golf, though?
Not really.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm doing laundry or something like
Right.
that.
30-minute blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These past couple days, I've had nothing to do, so I just practice, and I love to do it. Doesn't burn me out or anything like that. I love to go practice. I love to go play, and I mean, obviously, sometimes I do school,
Right.
but
So
I keep good grades. So
good. I like
but
that.
I like to practice a lot, and then now I'm doing summer school too, so that'll keep me a little busy other than being out there for 12 hours. So
Yeah. Is there a pro that you emulate? Is there someone that you go, I really like his game, I'm going to play like him?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I really like Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
Even though he went to Alabama, I think he's got a good mindset, and he's obviously pretty successful on tour, and he's a good dude.
Yeah. When you found out you were one of the 3 finalists for the Hogan Award, first off, what was your reaction to that?
I had no expectations.
Yeah.
I was very excited. It's obviously a great honor to be here. But when I got that call, it was just a smile on my face.
Yeah. Have you learned a little bit about Mr. Hogan and his history?
Oh yeah, I've known about Mr. Hogan for a long time. My old coach had me read I think it's called The 5 Fundamentals of Golf.
Right.
That book is very good if anyone hasn't read it. It's got a lot of good tips. So I've known about him for a while, and I mean, he's obviously done so much for the game, and how good he was and everything like that. It's incredible.
When you look at this list of past winners and the potential for your name to be up there, what would that mean to you?
There's so much talent on these lists.
Yeah.
It would just mean the world, especially to do it as a freshman. I think that would be really cool. I know history is probably not in my favor, but it would just be awesome to be up there.
Yeah. Jackson, we're glad you're in Fort Worth, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Jackson Koivun.
Yeah.
From Auburn. Next up, check out the video of Christo Lamprecht from Georgia Tech.
The recipient of the Byron Nelson Award and a finalist for the Ben Hogan Award in the same year? It could only be Christo Lamprecht. Georgia Tech's second Ben Hogan Award finalist is the first ever finalist from a continent other than North America or Europe. Lamprecht sits atop the world amateur golf ranking and is sixth in the national collegiate golf ranking system. Lamprecht won the 2023 Amateur Championship and claimed silver medal as the low amateur at the 151st Open Championship. A member of the international team at the 2023 Arnold Palmer Cup, he also placed 8th at the World Amateur Team Championship. In college play, he won 2 prestigious events, the Ben Hogan Collegiate Invitational and the Fighting Illini Invitational. Across 11 tournaments, he owns a 69.13 stroke average with 4 top 5 finishes. From Georgia Tech, Christo Lamprecht.
Christo, welcome to Fort Worth.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to be here. I've kind of gotten a liking in Fort Worth. It's a pretty special place.
Good. When they built the stage, one of the things they talked about doing this year was us doing these interviews standing up, and I asked not to.
Good one.
Yeah. How tall are you?
6'8".
6'8".
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is that an advantage in golf?
It's an advantage and a huge disadvantage at the same time.
Yeah.
I think I'm not really at the height supposed to be playing golf. I think I should be playing basketball, but not really good at that. So yeah, I think it's always been different for me. But for me, it's normal. So I guess I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. You mentioned basketball. You played a lot of sports growing up, right? Rugby, field hockey, golf. What am I leaving out?
Tennis, cricket. Yes, sir.
But then I read that, and this was a quote from you, I think. I think your quote was, "You sucked at dribbling." Is that true?
See, I can stand up straight and hold my hands up,
Yeah.
and I could shoot a little bit, but no, I'm really bad at it. So we have a sport, a women's sport in South Africa, international sport, that's netball.
Yes.
So it's the same thing as very similar to basketball, but as soon as you get the ball, you can't move.
Right.
So that whole theory of having the ball and moving around and dribbling, that's a new thing for me. It was very hard to do.
Now, have you grown to like basketball as a sport to watch, though?
Yeah, I think it's really enjoyable. I love watching it. I think it's really fun and fast, and it moves. So yeah, I enjoy it very much.
Coach mentioned that he went on a mission trip and he knew Afrikaan. Did I say that right?
Afrikaans. Yeah, with the S.
Yeah. Did that play a role in the recruiting process, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for an 18-year-old kid coming over, leaving his family, 17-hour flight away. So yeah, I think just having that person that knew what my culture was, where I'm from, and understood me as a person before even meeting me, was a huge thing for me. And I think I just loved what Coach Hepler stood for in the program. So that, yeah, it was definitely played a big part in it.
But you didn't get a chance to come right away. You were scheduled to be here, and then COVID hit, right?
Yeah, the good old COVID-19.
What was that like?
So I was scheduled to come the summer before, I think it's 2020. So I graduated in 2019. So I was planning coming on the summer and play some summer golf here. COVID hit. I got my ticket canceled 2 days before my flight. And then ended up trying to get here in 2021. And then I got COVID 2 days before my flight. Felt perfect. Luckily I had no symptoms or anything. I was a healthy young child. But so then that had whole delay. So I had a whole semester at home, online school and everything. And I had classes, obviously the 7-hour difference. I had classes at 12 p.m. at night and stuff like that. So it was really fun. It was interesting. But yeah, no, I finally got here and kind of hit the ground running. It was awesome.
You stuck it out though. You didn't waver from going to Georgia Tech. You knew you wanted to be there.
Yeah, no, I went on a couple of visits, obviously, luckily. And Georgia Tech was the first place I went to, and we left the gates there. And I was like, Dad, do we need to visit anywhere else? And he was like, well, let's just make sure. But no, I knew it was a place for me when I got there, and it's been the best 4 years of my life.
Yeah. How hard has it been for your family to kind of keep track of you and your career in college?
Yeah, no, I think my dad kind of wanted me out of the house, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
further better. But mom, it was hard. I had a lot of phone calls when I actually didn't want them, and I got a 2 o'clock in the morning a phone call when she wakes up and wants to talk to her son, and I'm like, Mom, I'm sleeping, so please let me be. But yeah, no, it's hard. Obviously, it's a long way away from home, but no, they've been really supportive of my dream and what I've wanted to do in golf.
Yeah, we should probably talk about where you grew up because Scott Limbaugh claims to be the real Southerner in the room, but you're from the Western Cape of South America, which
South
is
Africa.
Excuse me, South
Yeah.
Africa, yeah, which is the southernmost tip, right?
Of Africa, yeah, it's pretty
of
close
Africa.
to it.
You're way down there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
way down there.
And somebody told me that the town that you grew up in, did it back up to like a nature preserve? Was there a nature preserve and a beach all close by, fairly close?
Yeah, I mean, the best way to describe it to most people is the fact that it's kind of a San Diego vibe. So we have the ocean.
That's not what I pictured.
Yeah, our family beach house is 10 minutes away from our house, and I mean, we have a desert an hour and a half away. So it's a little bit of everything. It's awesome, and I really love the weather down there.
That's great. And obviously, growing up there in South Africa, you had to be a Gary Player, Ernie Els, two greatest golfers, obviously in your mind, right?
Yeah, obviously Gary Player is pretty much our Jack Nicklaus. I think he's one of the biggest ambassadors for golf in any sport, to be fair, in South Africa. So looked up to him as a kid, and obviously, luckily, got to know a lot of the greats in South African golf a little over the years, and Ernie being one of them. We have a beach house that's just down the road from his, so I got to see him, the non-golfer side of Ernie Els, a lot of summer holidays and stuff. So it's been really special to grow up next to him.
And then in 2023, you got to play at Holyoke in the Open, right?
Yes, sir.
And not only did you play, that first day was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. It was a blur. It really was a special. It's one of those days where you kind of just black out, and you're like, "Am I really doing this?
Am I really the leader?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. I was walking down 18 fairway, and our assistant coach was my caddy for the week. And I was walking up, and I looked at the scoreboard. I was like, "Dev, am I really leading the Open Championship?" So it was pretty special.
You, for folks who don't know, you use a push cart, right?
I get a lot of trouble for it.
No,
but
no,
yeah,
no.
I do.
For a good reason, though. I want to share this for a really good reason. It's for your back, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah, so I had a lot of injuries as a kid. I mean, I grew a foot in 3 years. So I had a big growth spurt, a lot of problems with my back. I had a big back injury thanks to rugby, which is pretty much our football. So physical accident. So yeah, I think for me, it's being tall guy and playing golf and having a lot of torque on my back. It's been a really, I guess, prioritizing for me to, I guess, maintain my back and stabilize everything around it. So yeah, I think not carrying a bag helps a little bit sometimes. I did it my freshman year because I got a lot of trouble for it. So I just carried my bag freshman year and stayed quiet. But I think now that I'm on the senior team and I'm guessing the big guy, I can kind of do whatever I want.
Good for you.
Which is good.
Good for you. Now, when I asked some folks at Georgia Tech, I said, "Hey, tell me something about Christo that folks don't know." And they told me this, and I had to double check this. Okay.
This is about to be bad, right?
No. They told me that you make the snack packs for the tournament for the other players. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I did it my senior year.
You build the snack bags.
So yeah, I kind of luckily with my I kind of did a lot of my academics the first couple of years with COVID, so I didn't have to play a lot of golf. So I had a really light schedule this last semester. I think I had 2 classes, and they really were just kind of free electives. So I had a lot of time on my hands, and so I offered the nutritionist, the head nutritionist, if I can help out and waste my free time. So I enjoyed it thoroughly.
I like it. But you also were involved in a couple of toy drives for kiddos around Christmas every year, right? I know that had to be rewarding.
Yeah, it was I think our final football match of the year every year. Yeah. And it was fun. It's grateful to see. I think all 3 of us here, and I think any college golfer, we really are privileged.
Yeah.
And we get to fly in private jets all over the country and play in amazing golf courses and really compete and have everything paid for too. So I think just giving back and really seeing kids that one choice makes their year, it really is a privilege. So.
You know, here in the great state of Texas, we have a great golf tradition, but a football tradition as well. Christo, we don't call them matches. We call them football games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not used to American sports before I got here. So I've been told I'm a lot of the, I guess the verbiage, I've said all the wrong things apparently. And first downs ain't touchdowns and all that stuff. So I've been taught everything. Hopefully I know most of it by now.
Have you developed an affinity for football? Do you like it?
I do. Obviously, I've got a biased opinion. I think rugby's a little bit of a better sport in my opinion. But I mean, yeah, it's fun to watch. I really enjoy that guys bashing their heads and play a sport like a man would. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. What would this mean to you, winning the Hogan Award? And what have you learned? You talked about Gary Player kind of being a favorite, obviously, in South America, but South Africa. But what would you say this would mean to you?
You know, I think I've said it multiple times. I think just being named in the same sentence is one of the greats. And I think even if it's Gary Player or Byron Nelson or Mr. Hogan, I think just being just named in the same sentence as them is truly an honor. So I think winning this award and obviously me winning the Byron Nelson a couple of weeks ago, it highlights my college career, and it's probably one of the biggest achievements that I've had since I've been here.
Big personality here, folks. Christo Lamprecht from Georgia Tech.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Let's welcome back from Vanderbilt, Gordon Sargent. Let's check out the video.
Earning your PGA Tour card by the fall of your junior year? Meet the first ever to achieve that feat, Gordon Sargent. Sargent is in Fort Worth for the second straight year, joining a list of multi-time Ben Hogan Award finalists since 2015 that includes Ludwig Aubert, Maverick McNeely, Colin Morikawa, and John Rahm. Sargent ranks second in the World Amateur Golf Ranking and seventh in the National Collegiate Golf Ranking System. A member of the United States teams at the Walker Cup and Arnold Palmer Cup, Sargent was low amateur at the 123rd U.S. Open and reached the round of 64 at the 2023 U.S. Amateur. Sargent has a 69.93 stroke average over 30 collegiate rounds this year. He won the Mason Rudolph Invitational and also has 3 runner-up finishes, including one at his NCAA Regional. From Vanderbilt, Gordon Sargent.
Good to have Gordon back in Fort Worth. Welcome back, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. The tux still fits.
Very.
I love that. Could you stand up? I want you to open up the jacket for folks. But our friends at Reveal Suits, I don't know if you guys know this.
Very nice.
Yeah, give these finalists a tuxedo with the Ben Hogan Award logo on the inside of it. Yeah.
I feel like a model up here.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. And then you told me the pants are getting a little tight.
Yeah, don't ask me to squat down.
Yeah, okay. We won't do that, man. That's good, though. That means, you know, good year in the weight room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Coach, I just got to not be worse than coach in the weight room.
Is that it? No, don't be worse than coach. I like
Pretty
that.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about the year, man. Obviously, last year was huge for you, and you were able to represent Vanderbilt. But another year under your belt, what was this year like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely different. I feel like it was definitely the first year I was a upperclassman, so I wasn't getting too much crap from the other guys on the team about who knows what. Like Christo said, I feel like I could kind of do what I wanted to, and I'm definitely not using push card. Just want to put that out there, but.
These guys, by the way, y'all were going at it today, all day long today. You know, that's good.
But yeah, it's been great. Just kind of having another year under my belt to mature and not only grow as a golfer, but just as a person, and just kind of go through life. And like I said, it's ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's awesome to kind of spend it at a university like Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I've got to start with this because after the NCAA's coming up, you would have the ability to turn pro and join the PGA Tour. You've elected to return to college for another year. Tell us about that decision process and how you did it. I applaud it, but I'm curious how you reached that decision.
Yeah, it was definitely not the easiest decision, but after kind of just talking to everybody and kind of seeing my options, it was I kind of always heard the pro golf's always going to be there, and you only get to go to college once, and so just being at a university like Vanderbilt, the education, just the guys on the team, really the coaches, just kind of the whole atmosphere was something I feel like I couldn't pass up for another year. So I don't know, just kind of have another year in Nashville would be great. And then, to play college golf, mature as golfer, person, all that stuff, and just kind of try to be more ready for pro golf when it comes.
You touched on it. The team aspect of that means something to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's probably 9 of my best friends are on the team right now, and we call each other brotherhood. So we probably spend too much time together, and we definitely kind of know what makes us tick about each other. But no, it's great. We kind of pretty much do everything together. So the team aspect's huge.
Yeah, the PGA started this university accelerated program. You're the first one to hit that number to be able to be a part of that. That's an advantage, though, right? I mean, I would think that's a weight off your shoulders, if nothing else, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one less thing pro golf you got to worry about. It's definitely kind of a different animal. So, kind of knowing what my schedule is going to be like when I turn pro will be nice. Just kind of prepare for that and, book those flights early and all that stuff.
Yeah. The world of NIL too, I think has a chance to be a real positive for college golf. For a player like you to come back another year, I think it'll extend some careers in the college game. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and that was kind of been great. Developing those relationships with companies early, kind of less you have to worry about when you turn pro. It makes that transition a little bit smoother. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm pulling up this school in a Lamborghini by any means, but no, NIL has definitely trickled its way into golf, and it's been great. I think all of us have kind of taken advantage of it a little bit. And yeah, just kind of seeing what's good for the college game, incentivizing people to stay in school is something that's really important.
When you work out with headphones on a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
AirPods.
Most of the time.
Headphones. What are you listening to?
It's kind of all over the place. Like usually probably still country music, probably a little bit more pop country music than some people. But I mean, there's a few rap songs to listen to. I don't even know the words to them.
So,
what they're
but you're
saying,
not necessarily listening to like Scott Limbaugh podcasts or anything?
No. I usually kind of go Taylor Swift over the Scott Limbaugh podcast. Yeah.
That bad?
I kind of like Taylor Swift.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You're the one.
I mean, I was thinking about my walk-up song and that came to mind.
What really? What would it be?
See, that one came to mind. There's a song called Kendrick Lamar, Money Trees, which the clean version is definitely trying to listen to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what he's saying most of the time, but I kind of like it.
Right.
But
for the beat, you listen for the beat. I get it. Last year when we were talking about your, and you accused me of saying that you had a seed addiction.
Yeah.
And
the way you phrased it was,
I didn't think you had an addiction, but you like seeds, right?
Sunflower seeds, yeah.
Right. But then you told me that because of our conversation, there aren't any in your bag anymore.
Well, you looked at me like you quit.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't have an addiction. It's not like
but there aren't.
There are none in my bag right now. But whether coach has some, I may take some. But
okay,
in my bag, I'm all out right now.
Right, and you never found like a new flavor that you liked?
I mean, some of the flavors you asked me about last year were
crazy.
I
know.
No, usually regular ranch.
Okay, well, that works. So, anything crazy in the bag at all?
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sunflower seeds is kind of the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's that weird.
Any crazy ritual before the round? I mean, anything you do to get ready?
Listen to Money Trees in the car.
Okay, that's good.
No, nothing crazy. Usually, like pretty precise on my timing before the round, but crazy ritual now.
Yeah. There was a video put together called "The Science Behind the Gordon Sargent Swing." Have you watched it?
I have not watched it.
You haven't watched it?
Someone sent it to me, but I did not watch it.
Yeah. That's pretty neat, though, to be your age and have someone putting together a video on the science of your swing.
Yeah, it's cool. I can't quite get the ball speeds Christo can get, but proportionally,
right,
it might be.
Yes.
It might be rival it.
Yeah. If someone asked you what is the science behind it, what would you say?
Listen to a lot of Taylor Swift while working out.
Back to Taylor Swift. I mean, that's wait, are you a Swiftie?
Yeah.
Really?
I've been to a Taylor Swift concert.
Have you?
Yeah, last year.
Did you buy a sweatshirt?
No.
Oh.
NIL hadn't wasn't
Oh, you
too
didn't have
much
any
in play
money
at that time.
You didn't have any money to buy the switch. I get it.
No, I'd say, I don't know. I think the biggest thing for me was like growing up playing a lot of other sports. I played a lot of baseball. And I mean, at that age, you just taught to hit it hard.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that kind of transitioned to the golf game. And yeah, really just kind of, obviously we all have different swings and just kind of understanding your swing. I don't think there's a perfect recipe like some other sports, but which makes golf really cool. But yeah, how Christo and I think about it, or anybody, whatever, probably all going to be different. So what I say probably isn't going to work, but just trying to keep it simple.
I'm watching the tournament last week, and you had a 25-foot flop shot on 18. Tell me how that worked out for you.
Well, I asked Coach for advice, and both coaches came over and told me completely different things. So I did neither of what they told me to do, and it went in. So,
Right.
yeah. So
it worked out okay.
It was better than expected.
But the thing that stood out for that, folks, is that you cracked a smile.
Yeah.
We don't see that often from you on the golf.
It was like the best shot I've hit in college golf, probably.
Really? So it was worthy of a smile. I like it. Would you smile tonight if you were to win?
Yeah, I would smile.
Yeah. What would tonight mean to you? Seriously, we talked about this last year, but you've had a chance to reflect. You get a chance to come back another year, which is a real honor, by the way, to be able to do it 2 years in a row. But what would that mean to you tonight?
Yeah, I think Jackson and Christo both kind of echoed what we'd all think, is that just to have your name mentioned in the same sense, Mr. Hogan. And obviously, if you can look at the list and see the people that have won the award, it means the world. So, yeah, seeing that it kind of recognizes the best college golfer, not only college golf, but just kind of as a whole, is really special. And I think it'd mean the world to all of us.
Yeah. Gordon Sargent, you're part of the Hogan family. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well, folks, in addition to that, meeting those three finalists here tonight, we've got another very special award that we get to present. And I'd like to bring up a couple of guys right now that I think are, well, they've got a few things to say about our recipient this year. The Eddie Merrins Award is special for us. It's an opportunity for us to honor a guy who was very important when it comes to, well, the game of college golf on the men's side. And of course, we're talking about the little pro, Eddie Merrins. If you would, please check out this video.
He may have been small in stature, but he was a giant in the game of golf. Eddie Merrins, affectionately known to everyone as the Little Pro, touched lives in the golf world throughout nearly all of his remarkable 91 years of life. One of the most accomplished and decorated golf professionals in the history of the PGA of America, he coached UCLA to the 1988 NCAA Men's Golf National Championship, co-founded the philanthropic organization Friends of Golf for aspiring junior golfers, and is immortalized in 12 halls of fame, including the PGA of America Hall of Fame, Golf Coaches Association of America Hall of Fame, and World Golf Teachers Hall of Fame. The Little Pro knew Walter Hagen, played against Ben Hogan, coached Corey Pavin, and gave lessons to Ricky Fowler. His reach over generations of golfers was astounding. He taught celebrities such as Fred Astaire, Sean Connery, Jack Nicholson, Ringo Starr, and Celine Dion, but was equally comfortable teaching his swing the handle theory to non-celebrities and first-time golfers alike. His knowledge was infinite and his grace unending. Eddie Merrins passed away on November 22nd, 2023, but his legacy lives on as a world-class player, a devoted coach, an unrivaled teacher, a dear friend to all, and the ultimate gentleman. In 2022, the Ben Hogan Award Committee created the Eddie Merrins Award in his honor. Recipients are to be highly regarded for their service, dedication, and contributions to college and amateur golf, while upholding the highest standards, values, and ethics of the game. The Eddie Merrins Award, the ultimate honor for those who stand tall in college golf.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce this year's recipient of the Eddie Merrins Award, please welcome Jimmy Clayton, along with Mason Merrins, Eddie Merrins' son. Jimmy.
Eddie wanted Greg Gross to have this award, and that speaks volumes for Greg, because what Greg has done is he has helped so many of our golfers, so many players out here, so many coaches, and I got the honor to I got to speak to all three of the participants out here, and they did something that was really unique. What they did, and when Greg took over the Golf Coaches Foundation, or excuse me, the Golf Coaches Association, he basically, first of all, I recommended him, and then we were $100,000 in debt. So after that, we ended up getting out of that. But what he did when he hired Dustin is they came across and they did something that I've talked to all these three participants, finalists right here, that he gave them one of the greatest gifts that you could possibly give. And what he did is he and Dustin got together and they created this. It was the PGA Tour University project. And what it does, it basically, and they sat down and they talked about doing this, he and Dustin did, and what they came up with, because it was so hard to get on the Nike Tour back then, so hard to get on the Korn Ferry Tour, and they felt like that our golfers deserved the right and were good enough, and you are good enough to be on the tour. And they presented this to the PGA, and it was the top 20 players through a ranking system, and the top 5 players got to go to the Korn Ferry Tour, right straight. And then the next 15 players, they go to the Canadian Tour. And of course, when Dustin and Greg presented this to the PGA, some of our people said, "You are crazy. They will never, ever approve of this, right? You shouldn't do this at all." And of course, they were right. The PGA said, "No, not now." And of course, that no went where? Right through their ears, because they said, "Not now." And that was a big deal. And they just stayed after it to get it done. And it took a long time to do that. It took a couple of years to do it. And when Greg became the CEO, like I said, we were $100,000 in debt. And when you're $100,000 in debt, that's a major problem. And he helped get us out of that problem. And so the most important thing I want you to know is that you guys are good enough to go out there and be on the tour. And you deserve the right to do that. And Greg made it possible, and Dustin made it possible, because then the PGA came back after 2 years and they said, "You know what? I think we ought to consider doing that." And they've done and they got a hold of it. And then they even made, like Gordon, special exemption he got, and they've done a great job with it. But Greg is one of my players. I'm so fortunate to have him. We've had great times. I won't tell any restaurant stories about him, because if you go to eat with him, it's a 2-hour marathon. Okay, at least a two. And but when you have a player that has given back so much, it really is important. I will mention one thing to you. I'm a little bit older, and some of you older guys remember a guy named Bill Eschenbrenner. Yeah, well, he's alive and well. He actually taught me to play golf, and he took me when I was young, when I was a junior in high school, and without him, in West Texas at a place called, he was over and close to Kermit, Texas, out in the West Winds, and he was at Jow, New Mexico, and we didn't have sands in the bunk. There wasn't any sand in the bunkers because the wind blew so hard. I was taller than the tallest tree out there. And there was a town named No Trees. And they were right. There was no trees out there. But you know what he did? He helped me, and I was able to win the state tournament. I was able to go to North Texas and play golf. And I asked him, how in the world can I ever repay you? And you know what he said? You cannot, but you can help other people. And I know all three of you will do that at some time. And you know what's so good about these three young men is they pull for each other. They're against each other when they play in competition, but they pull for each other. And that's called sportsmanship, and that's what golf's all about. So I am so proud of Greg for what he has done, and because he has really made your dreams come true.
My father loved this game, every aspect about it. The game gave so much to him, and he in turn loved nothing more than giving back to it in any way that he could. Over the years, my father shared with me just how much the collegiate game and coaching meant to him. It kept his competitive fuels going for 14 years and enabled him to cultivate so many incredible and long-lasting relationships, one of which was with tonight's recipient of the Eddie Merrins Award. He admired you, Greg, for all of your hard work and dedication, and was extremely happy to know that you were to be the award's next recipient. He is watching over us tonight and has a huge smile from ear to ear. I am honored to be here this evening to present the 2024 Eddie Merrins Award to Mr. Greg Gross.
This is not right. All right. No, it's not. Good Lord. That's heavy. Good. Christo, I need you to come over and hold this thing. It's pretty heavy, okay? So, I'm not used to being on this side of the mic. I'm usually out there, okay? So I'm going to try to follow the lead from last night. Be brief, brother, be brief. Because the real stars of tonight sit out here. But I'd like to, I got my glasses too because I am old. But, and no comments over here, guys, all right? First off, I'd like to thank the Hogan Foundation and the Friends of Golf and the Merrins family for this honor. Little Pro and I go back to when I started coaching at 81. And he was a gentleman 24/7, right down to the tie. And my memories of him, I guess the best one I have, besides the fact that he kicked my you-know-what in 88 when he won in 88, and then we would return the favor in 89 at Oak Tree. But I got this phone call, mid-90s, from Little Pro, and he said, Greg, I'd like you to do something for me. Well, it was a question of what pro? And he said, I'm going to be presenting down at the PGA Teaching and Coaching Summit in Port St. Lucie, and I'd like you to introduce me. Well, I said, Pro, I'm not a PGA member. He goes, I don't care. I said, well, it's all golf pros. And he goes, I don't care. So I got the opportunity to introduce Little Pro in front of 2,000 golf professionals at Port St. Lucie. And it was one of the most amazing moments in my life to be able to introduce him. The fact that he would ask me, I've still to this day never figured out why he did, but he did. So how does this all kind of lead together? So in 2001, I had retired in 2000. I was at the NCAA championship out of North Carolina. I get a phone call. It was the press room. I have no idea where they tracked me down. And it was from a Dr. Bill Barnes at Colonial. Now, yeah, I'm a frog, by the way. I graduated TCU, okay? And my dad did too, and all the football before the war and all that kind of stuff, but I had never met Dr. Barnes. And he said, we want to have this Hogan Award. And I said, okay, well, there's already is a Hogan Award. And he said, we know, but we'd like to sit down and talk, and could we get together and see if we could somehow come to become partners with the people out at Bel Air? Well, fast forward. Not too long after that, Bill Barnes and his sidekick, David Hull, went out to Bel Air. I called Mr. Merrins. I said, we've got an idea here, and let's talk. And next thing I know, Sal Simbola, Eddie Merrins, and all the group got together, and we all figured out that the Hogan Award needed to be highlighted here at Colonial, in the home of Mr. Hogan. And that's what happened. And then we had to redefine the criteria of the award.
which it was done, which was to get back to what Mr. Harmon, Mr. Hogan, and Mr. Merrins originally wanted, which was the Heisman of college golf. Bill, you're it. Okay, buddy? You're the whole reason this all happened. Okay? Then all along came Dr. Wally Schmuck. And so the dynamic duo took this award. And believe me, when we started, all these black ties, all these wonderful things, Marty Leonard, you know it, you were there day one. It all just didn't happen. It just didn't happen like this. It took a while to build it, to grow it. The list speaks for itself of the recipients. So anyway, my thanks, Jimmy Clayton, my college coach at McLennan Community College in Waco, Texas. Okay. Yeah, I was a JUCO boy. Went from a prep school to JUCO. Don't ask me how that happened, okay? But, of course, he went on to become a legend at Texas and a Hall of Fame member. Jimmy, thank you. You've been my second dad since I was 1974 when I finished high school. You walked my mom down the aisle when Michelle and I got married. And you don't know how much it means for you to be here with me tonight. Dan and Patty Snyder, right here. Lifelong friends, at least. We started our professional careers. You were in Beaumont, Texas, and I was in Beaumont, Texas. Neither one of us knew where the hell we were, okay? It was Beaumont, right? It's someplace called near Sour Lake, right? All right? And we built a friendship. And over all those years in college golf and now high school golf, every time I had a player I needed to fix, I called Dan, which meant that the kid was coming over, staying with Patty, and he fixed him. And then I went back, and I looked like I was the star, okay? He fixed him. I took the credit. Dan, Patty, thank you for being here. There's a table over here, and they surprised me. They're all former Sooners, okay? They played for me at different times. Right here, right down here, right? Right there. And I want to thank you all for being here. The stories I understand over there were probably X-rated. I don't really want to hear about them. JD, Hunter, Fort Worth's own Hunter Haas, Jeff Mixon, Ida Bells only, all right. Doug Manor, Chad Holmesy, John Kidwell, Chris James. Yeah, he's already been mentioned tonight. I'm going to do it again. He's up on that wall, 2000, a Ben Hogan recipient. Chris. Finally, my family. My daughter, Samantha, her husband, Ryan, are here tonight. You see, they had to put up with coaches because my wife and I were both coaches at OU. That's how we met. We now have our first grandchild, little Charlotte. And I was told, Bruce Hepler, I think you told me that grandkids are going to change my life. I think you told me that last year, and it has. Absolutely. I forgot what a diaper smells like, okay? So... Samantha, Ryan, thanks for being here and being a part of this. Finally, my wife, my better half. You see, two coaches went to coach at the University of Oklahoma. She beat me there by 1 year. She was a softball coach. She's a former Olympian. Yeah, she was the greatest player in the world for 3 years. And, with 3.5 years. I'm sorry. Anyway, so, but we met. We were put together by the athletic department. That was the whole idea, the two single coaches. We dated out of season for 5 years until she gave me an ultimatum. When are we going to get married? Okay. Are we going to do anything? And I said, how long do I have to decide this? Okay. So in December, it'll be 32 years. She's put up with me. I put up with her. She's the love of my life. She's here tonight. She's a much better athlete. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. Finally, where's Mason? Mason, where'd you go? Mason, your dad was very special to me. He would call me at odd hours, and I never even knew what we were going to talk about. He would just start talking. And to be honored by this with your dad's name on it is something I will never forget. Thank you very much. Good night.
Great job, Greg. Well deserved there. As we turn our attention, though, folks, back to the screens one last time as we look at the storied history of past winners of the Ben Hogan Award presented by PNC Bank.
The prestigious Ben Hogan Award, presented by PNC Bank annually, honors the nation's most outstanding college and amateur golfer at Hogan's Alley. The Ben Hogan Trophy was founded by Tom Harmon of the Friends of Golf in 1990 and awarded at Bel Air Country Club in Los Angeles until moving to Colonial Country Club in Hogan's hometown in 2002. Over the past 2 decades, many of the world's best professional golfers have been honored here as amateurs. Of the top 25 players in the current official world golf ranking, 10 were in this very room at this very dinner. 5 of the top 12 players in the world are past award recipients, and 7 rank among the world's top 30. Recipients of the Ben Hogan Award, presented by PNC Bank, have combined to accumulate 88 worldwide victories and have amassed more than $420 million in prize money on the PGA Tour. Additionally, the group has combined to appear in 17 Ryder Cups and 13 President's Cups, and have won 3 FedEx Cup titles. The list of past recipients reads like a who's who in golf. DJ Trahan, Ricky Barnes, Hunter Mahan, Bill Haas, Ryan Moore, Matt Every, Chris Kirk, Ricky Fowler, Kyle Stanley, Nick Taylor, Peter Uihlein, Patrick Cantlay, Chris Williams, Patrick Rogers, John Rahm, Maverick McNeely, Doug Gim, Victor Hovland, Sahith Theegala, John Pak, and Ludwig Aubert. Who will be next?
Well, it is almost time, folks. The time that we've all been waiting for. You heard Marty Leonard talk about the Ben Hogan family in that video earlier. We are about to welcome our newest champion, if you would. I'd like to bring up to the podium Harold McElroy, the chairman of the Ben Hogan Award. Harold, if you would, as well as Peter Best. Peter, if you would join us, the president of Friends of Golf. Following them to the stage is going to be maybe the most important man in the room, and that's John Flack of KPMG. He's got the winner envelope in his hands. If you'd have known that earlier, you'd have talked to him, I know. But come on up, John. And we are going to present the sealed envelope to Harold McElroy and to get this event started. Harold, the night is yours.
All right. Thank you, John. Peter, thank all of you for being here tonight. Another great evening. This award creates our showcases, I should say, the best in golf. And we are so proud of these 3 finalists. And no matter which one of the 3 wins, they're all winners. They're all part of the Ben Hogan family. And so we want to remember that. I'm fortunate to be the one that has the envelope that has the winner here. And I want to do that. But I just want all 3 of you finalists to know how special we think each of you are. And that you will always be part of our family. So with that said, I'm going to open the envelope. And let me say, Peter represents Friends of Golf, which started this award, and has a trophy up here that he will present. And I also have a trophy from Colonial Country Club that we present. And so we have a great organization here with the GCAA, with FOG, and with Colonial. And we appreciate you being here and sharing this with us. So the winner tonight of the 2024 Ben Hogan Award is Jackson Koivun of Auburn University.
there's nothing for us to say other than we enjoy and love our partnership with Colonial. The Friends of Golf, we're proud to be here. Thank you and congratulations, Jackson. Thank you.
Jackson, this is to go in your residence, wherever that may be. And you know what? I forgot to put your winning. Let me put this label on here so that when you get your picture made, it shows. But from the Ben Hogan Award, we'd like to present you this trophy for winning this year's award.
Thank you.
And we have one other award that we'd like to present. Jim Whitten is the chairman of the Colonial or the Charles Schwab Challenge Golf Tournament. He's been the chairman for the last 4 years, and he's got a special award that he'd like to present.
Thank you, Harold. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, PNC, for everything y'all do. Dale and Brendan, great job. Jackson, congratulations on winning the Ben Hogan Award. On behalf of the Charles Schwab Challenge, as well as the Colonial Country Club, I want to present you an invitation to play in the 2025 Charles Schwab Challenge.
Wow. I think if y'all could feel my heartbeat sitting in that chair, I think you'd probably think I have a health problem. But I just want to say thanks to a couple people, my parents over here. I love them so much. They've done so much for me. Coach Kleiner, Coach Williams, he's not here, but helping me grow as a person to who I am today, not only on the golf course, but off the golf course too. I think you've made I know you've made huge improvements in my life. My swing coach, Fred Garcia, back home or back in California, not home right now, but he's mentored me a lot, not only with the swing, but off the course with stuff. And I think he's really helped me become who I am. My teammates, I hope they're watching, but they've pushed me so hard this past year. And I know I get some stuff because I'm a freshman, but they've just really pushed me to get better. And also the two other finalists, Christo and Gordon, y'all make college golf so good. It's just guys like you who make, kids in junior golf really want to get better and play against y'all in college. And it's growing the game, especially with PJ Tour U, like we talked about earlier. It's just opening more doors for all of us. So again, thank you for everyone that has put this on. And yeah, War Eagle.
Nice job, man. Just stand over there on the side. Nice job. Thank you, Jackson. Well, Marty, Madeline, we've got new members of the Hogan family here tonight. 3 new members, including our winner, Jackson. Thank you to everyone who was watching on golf.com, on our website, and listening on SiriusXM. And congratulations to Jackson Koivun from Auburn, this year's recipient of the Ben Hogan Award, presented by our good friends at PNC Bank. Thank you and have a good night.